What's up, guys? This is Coach Grant with First Down Training, and today we're going to be breaking down how you can run routes like a five-star wide receiver. We're going to be looking at 3 routes here from five-star wide receiver Brandon Innes out of Broward County, Florida. So I hope this video helps you guys out. Hope it can teach you a few new things. But also, fellas, if you would like to get some work in with us this offseason, we're traveling out to 15 states across the country for 2-day-long QB and wide receiver training camp. So next up on our camp tour, we're coming out to San Francisco, then Orlando, New Orleans, Charlotte, Dallas, the DMV, St. Louis, Honolulu, Boston, Cleveland, Austin, Seattle, Newark, Denver, and Los Angeles. So if you guys are local to one of those cities and would like to get some work in with us, 2 days of training, 8 hours total, check out that very first link in the description below. We'd love to have you out. Let's get started with this video. So now, first route we're looking at here from Brandon Innes is this press release. So we're going to talk about why he's so explosive off the line and why he's ultimately able to make this DB fall on this. So let's play at full speed. So he does a great job working this release, kind of like this triple step release, and getting that DB and getting a lot of separation. So anytime that we're in press coverage or we're facing press coverage, what these guys do, play that Power 5 game, is they do a very good job of selling their routes off the line. They do a great job of working outside of the DB's frame to get him to move. You have to understand, so many wide receivers, they try to do the different press releases, but they operate laterally. They do a lot of movement with their head and their shoulders. They're never on the attack, and that's why they don't get a ton of separation. So when I got some space from this DB off the line, I don't need a lot. I need maybe half a yard. I need to operate outside of his frame. That's the only way he's going to move and going to commit if he's disciplined. So the way I think of it is like you're driving. You got the far left lane, you got the middle lane where the DB's in, and then you got the far, in this case, it'd be the far right, middle, and then the left. So if we're trying to get him to move to the left lane, we actually have to step to the left lane. I actually have to step there and bring my body there. So you see when Innes comes off the ball, he does this kind of crossover triple step release. But look how wide he's moving off of this thing. You see from just the beginning example, he's actually moving off the platform because that is what will get the DB to commit. There comes a point in every single rep, and this is why playing DB is so difficult, that he has to commit to what we are doing. He is watching my hips, he's trying to read my body language, but he can't just get left behind, because nothing would be worse than a DB who's lined up in press coverage trying to get hands on this receiver to just get beat wide to the outside and just let him just run off the ball. Nobody wants to get beat deep, and especially a DB not in man coverage. So with my releases, that's what I have to threaten him with. I have to almost think of it like my body is attached to my foot. My hips, my shoulders, my upper half is loose, and I am throwing my hip with this specific cut, because that is what can get that DB to bite. And again, we know where we're going. The DB doesn't. So it's easier for us to set things up like this. It's easy for us to work outside the frame and then still work back to the inside and win on this route. So that's a textbook release here from Brandon Innes, and that is exactly how you want to work outside of his frame. Now, again, if he wanted to take an outside release, it could be the same exact thing. He would work to the inside. He would maybe jab with his right foot, but it's about stepping outside the frame. Threaten him vertically. Nobody runs a fade by running to the side and then running up. They go hip to hip. They try to get skinny with this DB and get upfield. That's what we need to make my releases look like, and we have to sell with the upper half because that's where the DB's eyes are. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job by Innes selling this outside move and then taking that inside release to get separation. All right, so we're looking at Innes here right in kind of like the right of the screen, and he's going to be running a post route against press bail. So I know a lot of you guys, are maybe youth wide receivers and other high school wide receivers, and you see this look a lot. A DB will come down like he's going to be in press. You're thinking, oh, great, finally I have press coverage, because I know in high school, youth ball, it's not the most common thing in the world. But then he starts to bail. He starts to bail out, and he turns into almost like a cover 3 situation. So you got to understand, when a DB's in press bail like this, he has something we call a blind spot. So what is the blind spot? The blind spot is back here. And that is what you would want to attack when you have an inside breaking route. So let's play this thing full speed here for Innes. So right immediately off the line of scrimmage, he gets to that blind spot of the DB. And again, he doesn't make a super complicated move. He just runs an efficient route. And that's something that so many people get wrong. They see all the flash, the 7-on-7, the 1-on-1s, and they think that that's how they have to run routes always. They got to do the fancy footwork releases. They got to do the million moves at the top of the break and run a route. And that's all cool in 7-on-7 because your quarterback doesn't really got to worry about timing. He could just take one step from the tee and just sit there and wait for you. But in a real game, when he's got pressure, when he's got maybe less than 4 or 5 seconds to throw the ball, especially in one-on-ones, it can get ridiculous sometimes. It's about running an efficient route. But how do you run an efficient route and get a ton of separation? This is how. But you have to understand coverages. So when you got a DB who's in press bail, like we said, he's got blind spot. But, when he's in press bail and he's in zone, what does he usually have to the inside? The whole reason he's in zone and facing the QB. He's got help to the inside. So that means he's got, safety, in some cases maybe two safeties if it's cover 4. So he's okay with you running a post. He's okay with you just taking off and running to the inside, which is another thing that a lot of younger wide receivers will do. They'll come off the ball, and instead of operating in this blind spot like where Ennis operates right here, what they'll do is they'll just take off and try to cross this guy's face and go run. But that's exactly what the DB wants you to do. He'll just force you to the inside, and that quarterback doesn't have a window between that safety and the corner, and he won't throw you the ball. So we have to threaten him where he doesn't want me to go. When he's in press bail, he does not want to get beat deep. So we threaten him to that blind spot. We're running my stem. I don't even have to make that hard of a cut. He just needs to know that I'm there. He just needs to feel that I'm there, because that's what can force him to widen. And then obviously that can get us some separation. But now imagine if we maybe did throw a quick cut. We did throw a rocker step to his blind spot. That would really get him to widen, maybe get him to hesitate. But when that DB gives up the blind spot, we have to threaten the blind spot to be able to run by him or to be able to create separation. So that's a great example of Ennis running an efficient route, and not a super complicated route, and being able to get a lot of space. Let's play this thing again, full speed one more time. Great job showcasing this example of attacking blind spot against a press bail DB. DB maybe should have stayed a little bit more outside leverage on that. But again, he gives us that blind spot. We have to attack that blind spot. Okay, so in this example here, from Brandon Ennis, I wouldn't even necessarily really call this, a route that he's running, but it's a great example of how you guys can get more yards after the catch. And that's a big, big reason why these 5-star guys are ranked where they are and going to school where they are, because they can make these explosive plays. I don't know how many times I have to say it too, because I've said it before on this channel, but it's all about explosive plays, fellas. It's all about, can you stand out on film? Because listen, there are receivers, you see it all the time at camps, you see it all the time at workouts. What's the most packed position? Receivers. There's probably 40 to 50 wide receivers sometimes at these camps, at practices, and it's hard to stand out. Now think about that on a national scale. Think about that, how many receivers are in each city, in each state. And they all want to play college football. So they're all sending out their film, whatever film they have, to college coaches. How are you going to stand out amongst the crowd? That's why it's such a low percentage of guys that go to end up in playing college football. And you have to make explosive plays, because that's what college coaches want to see. They want to see explosive playmakers. So let's play this full speed. Let's watch this. So he throws a screen. Ennis catches this screen, jump pass, comes down, able to make guys miss, break up field, and scores a touchdown. That is like a 5-star caliber play. That is what college coaches want to see. And again, the star thing, it's a fancy title. Yeah, it's cool to be called that. I get it. Some of you guys probably want to get stars rankings. Some of you guys might have star rankings. But at the end of the day, stars don't matter. At the end of the day, it's who are you as a football player, and can you succeed at the next level? When you get to the next level, your star's gone. Nobody cares. They want to see who's the best guy. Because a college coach, like those recruiting guys, their jobs don't depend on if they're right about a 5-star recruit. Like if they label somebody a 5-star and they don't pan out in college, they just do the exact same thing the next year. A college coach, if he's putting this guy on the field who's ranked 5 stars, that if he can't get it done, that guy loses his job. If he loses his games, he loses his job. The recruiting guy won't. So the stars thing doesn't matter. But what matters is being a good football player and getting to that next level. And these are the plays that will do that for you. So you look at this. You see here. I equate this to route running, because everybody asks us, like, how can I break more tackles? How can I get yards after the catch? Running routes. That's literally how you can work on it, because it's the same type of mechanics. You see how he's bursting upfield, he's running full speed, he's got to put the brakes on a dime, he puts his foot in the ground, drops his hips a little bit, makes a cutback. That's the same thing you would do if you're running a post route. You would run full speed, put foot in the ground, put the brakes on. The running after the catch, getting yards after the catch, a lot of that's instinctual, but you can build those instincts by running routes, by practicing running routes. So it's just a second nature. You're running full speed, a guy's got an angle on you, bam, you put the hips on, you drop your hips, slip underneath, get back upfield. It's all about being able to react, and it's all about running routes when that ball is in your hands. So I wanted to include this just so I could showcase you guys that and show what, this is a play that a college coach would look on film. They don't want to see you catch the screen and get tackled for 10 yards. It's not a big play. They want to see you catch the screen, make a guy miss, break a tackle, take that thing upfield and go score. And how you can do that, how you can work on those skills is by running routes. That's why I would equate this into the running routes category. Let's play this again full speed one more time. Great job by Ennis making this catch, bursting upfield and showcasing that explosion. Guys, colleges want explosive athletes and they want explosive wide receivers. All right, fellas, really want to thank you for watching. Really appreciate it. If you guys have any questions at all, don't hesitate to leave those in the comment section below. Always appreciate the feedback. It's always great to hear from you guys. And again, fellas, if you'd like to come out to one of our 15 off-season camps, check out that very first link in the description below. I'll see you guys next time.